Hello, welcome to the show, guys. If this is your first time watching the show, I'm a professional tattoo artist, and I make this show to teach clients how to avoid getting tattooed by some of the hacks that are out there. And also, I want to help teach you how to spot some of the quality tattoo artists. So this week, we got an email from a viewer. Her name is Jackie. She's in Harrisbur, Illinois. She says there's only one tattoo studio in her entire town, and she's afraid to go there. And she wants our help finding a better studio nearby. So, alright, Jackie, we're up for the task. We'll definitely help you find the right artist, but first, you know we gotta check out this studio she's afraid to go to. Let's break it down. Alright, you guys, this is Bobby Lowe. He is the owner of Inkmaster Tattoo and Piercings. You can check him out, inkmastertattoo.com. Now, Jackie was not kidding. This is the only studio in Harrisburg, Illinois. And I was kind of surprised to see that, but you can check him out on Facebook too, Inkmaster Tattoo Illinois. Not surprisingly, this is the outside of their studio. And trust me, if you're going to get tattooed out of a place that looks like a double-wide trailer and it has no curtains and the satellite dish is tipping over, this is the kind of artwork you're probably going to get. Bam! Oh, man. Oh, boy. This is one of the more recent pieces that I pulled off of their Facebook, you guys. And you can definitely go check them out, and I recommend that you do. But anybody in that surrounding area, please do not go to this studio. There's other artists that work at the studio, but their work was very similar. I could tell he, as the owner, might have taught them, and so it has the same sort of lacking technique as we went. And a lot of times he would do cover-ups, really small cover-ups, like this awesome shark with sunglasses. I don't know why somebody wanted this covered up, but he covered it up with this Viking or this Spartan helmet, and you can clearly see where that shark's outline used to be. And so the thing they did wrong here is, instead of going bigger with the cover-up, he tried to put a small tattoo over a slightly smaller tattoo. And this is something I warn clients about all the time. If you're going to get a cover-up, go bigger. Don't be afraid to go bigger. Otherwise, you're going to end up with just another small tattoo that you regret how it looks. And this is something that Bobby did over and over again. Somebody here on their foot wanted to cover this up because they no longer love JJ, and that's what he did. Not much bigger. See? Boom. And that's what you get. You get this darker, muddied up kind of tattoo because you're trying to create large, dark areas within a small tattoo. It's much easier to do if it's a larger tattoo. So the outcome's always going to be much bigger. She should have made this thing cover her entire upper part of her foot here. And she would have been a lot happier with the detail put in it. Although I don't think that she should have went to him for it, because the type of flowers that he did, like, I'm not a big fan of how weird this rose looks. You guys know I'm not a fan of these weird clitoris roses. But he does all of his flowers in this really strange sort of way. Here's another one. Bam! They were covering up the name right here, and he just kind of freehanded these on him. And, ugh, what is this? For somebody that's been tattooing for over 20 years, this guy should be much better at fading out his black. But I saw this on almost all of his tattoos, this rough outer kind of glare of black, and none of it was faded off nicely. All of it was very, very blotchy looking, darker in some areas, lighter in others. He has a really hard time creating nice, smooth gradations. And for some reason, he just left the tail of the Y sticking out there. Don't understand why, and you can see the C right here as well. He's just like, you know what, I'll cover this thing up, but I'm not covering up the tail of that Y. No way. But these flowers that he does are all just really strange like this. Really weird style of art. And granted, this might be his style of art, but to me, as an experienced tattooer looking at this, what I see is somebody that's not artistically inclined. I see somebody that wanted to be a tattooer, but they weren't really the best artist, and so this is what you get. You get somebody who's trying their hardest to imitate these simplified styles of tattooing, but at the same time, his application is really poor as well. Look at this rose. What is this? I mean, the only reason I know it's a rose is because it's red. Otherwise, this is just strange. There's like a thumb in the middle of it right there. What is that? I see a thumbnail and everything. That is not a rose. And it's like over and over again in his portfolio, I just saw these strange shaped flowers. They're so quickly done and designed that it's like, it would have been better off if he just traced something off the internet. Why would you custom design something if you're not good at it? But look at this. So many just lines missing. There's no real, I mean, there's a lack of shape and definition in all of these. I also have major beef with this footprint that he did right here. Of course, I've talked about this in past episodes. If you're getting a memorial or a representative piece for like your child or someone you love, like, look at the artist's portfolio of these closely, because you don't want an artist that outlines the print. It no longer looks like a real print if it hasn't outlined on it. Prints are supposed to have soft edges to it. But this is something a lot of artists will do to kind of make it simpler for themselves and quicker and easier. But it just turns out poor looking. And that's really hard to tell that that's a footprint when you're looking at it. Ugh, another one. Gross. Yuck, there's so many of them. And then, what is that? What is that? That is a weird sunflower. Oh, what is the shape? That is not what sunflowers look like. That's some sort of weird alien butthole. I don't think I've ever seen a sunflower like that. This poor girl. Oh, she's got to explain to people why she has an alien butthole on her the rest of her life. Oh, gosh, that's terrible. I can't even look at it any longer. This one's not so bad. I mean, the design of it is not so bad compared to his others, but the color application, this is, again, something you got to zoom in and look for. You see how some parts of it are darker purple, some are lighter purple, and it's not really cohesive or consistent. That just shows you that he's having a hard time with his depth. Sometimes his needles are going deeper, sometimes they're going shallower, but ultimately it's not going to create a nice solid color. It's going to create a really kind of dodgy, blotchy looking color to it. But man, that is one sexy green alien. And here's a sexy cowboy. Well, I mean, I'm playing it fast and loose with the term sexy here, you guys. Oh, she is really liking riding that fence. But he made a big mistake here. I could tell he was kind of nervous about how's he going to do something with a light skin tone on a light skin tone. And he failed miserably here because when this thing is fully healed, all you're really going to see is just these black kind of scratchy outer shadows that he did here. But this is just not well defined, and it's going to be even lighter when it heals. So big red flag. This one took me a minute to really see what it was, but once you see it, you'll not be able to unsee it. Something he really kind of simplified again was her hair here. Just one large chunk of black hair instead of trying to make nice detail in there. And then this one, man, this is a massive tattoo. It's very disappointing when you see massive tattoos like this with very little effort put in. Just because it's big does not mean it's good. And here's a great example of what I'm talking about. Just this large area here of just dark blue water. There's no real shading or really, besides this highlighting he does on the edge, there's no real definition to it. And that was kind of his MO, and I think he's just cutting corners. I don't think he's very artistically inclined. Most of his things didn't have a light source, and they didn't have much depth to them. This is the last one I'm going to show you guys, this knife stabbing this cabbage. I'm not really sure, but it really highlights how poor the line work was as well. If you see an artist that claims 20 years plus of experience, and you can see where lines just don't connect, this right away tells any client and lets you know that this artist is having a hard time controlling where the tip of their needle is. This is a difficult part about tattooing. We need to be able to know where our tattoo tip or our needle tip is by feel, because when you go to touch the skin, the ink blurs out almost instantly and you can no longer see the tips of your needles, and that's why he's not connecting these lines, because he's just not able to see the tip of his needles, but he's not doing it by feel very well either. Here's one where he overlapped it. And this is something, you know, it takes artists years to get good at this and to get proficient at it, but it shouldn't take you 20 years. You should have been good at it after a couple of years. But I strongly discourage anybody there in Harrisburg from checking out this studio. I checked out all of the artists. I can't find much positive to say, especially when it comes to the design work. I don't think he's an artist at heart. I think he should stick to tracing other artists' tattoos, if anything. But ultimately, I would not recommend anyone go there. But if you are from Harrisburg and you want to get tattooed, it took a little bit of a search for us to find a good artist nearby. There's not much nearby. But Jackie, stick around. We did find an artist that we thought was very impressive. She's going to blow your mind. Alright guys, before I move on to the next artist, real quick, I just want to remind everybody that if you're out there looking to get a tattoo and you want our help finding a tattoo artist, it's no problem. Just send an email to TheHackHunters@gmail.com. Let us know what city you're in and let us know what style of tattoo you're looking to get, and we'll definitely help you out. Alright, that's it. Now let's get back to the artwork. Alright you guys, this is Taylor Leopard, and she is an owner at Third Moon Tattoos. Definitely go check them out. You can see them at thirdmoontattoos.com. Kind of a interesting, different kind of website. I wasn't really sure about some of the links here. They kind of look different than other websites, but they did have one really cool feature here where you could check out their studio in 3D space. I thought that was so awesome of them to do that, and it looks like a really cool space to get tattooed in. Definitely really unique style, so I give them props on that. I thought it was a really cool looking space. If you want to check her out, Taylor Leopard Tattoos on Instagram, and definitely worth checking out. Hers goes back many years, so she's got a lot of artwork she posts there. Let's kick it off by looking at some of her flowers, just to compare and contrast. This is what Jackie was looking for. Now, Third Moon Tattoo is about an hour and a half, or about an hour south, and I think it's absolutely worth the drive when I'm looking at this quality of work. Now, just to compare to what we were looking at with Bobby's tattoos. First off, she's not blending off gray wash. She's blending off black to a medium dark tone, medium tone, and then a light tone, or in this case, skin breaks. And that's what you want out of an artist. One that's going to take the time, use more pigments, more different color variations to create a 3D 3D appeal. Now, she has a similar style of artwork as him, no doubt. It's a simplified style of artwork, but when she does it, you can clearly see it's intentional, it's beautiful, it looks clean and crisp, and that's what I saw through her whole portfolio. And I would very strongly recommend an artist when I'm seeing technique like this. Very cool custom design. Now, she has her own unique style, a way of doing roses and flowers that she's developed over the years. I've kind of seen it through her portfolio, and it became her style. But you can tell when you look at this that she's intentionally doing them that way. This isn't just somebody who's struggling with a design and not sure how to make it look right. She knows where the shadows are supposed to go. She knows how to shape them. And I definitely give her props on not using just traditional bright green colors in the leaves here. She uses a jade green here, and I just thought that was great. It makes it stand out and look different from the typical bright green leaves that you see all throughout other portfolios. Let me compare this one since it's kind of similar. She's got a lightsaber stabbing through and he's got a sword, but you know, same concept, right? Now, comparing these side by side, it's not even fair. She knows where her light source is. She knows how to blend this black into her colors, and it looks way different than this sort of scratchy blending that we have over here. Now, comparing the line work, very smooth, very clean. I mean, it's just no contest. And sometimes you have to do this when you're looking for an artist. You got to compare it side by side to see how bad one really is or how good the other one is. I also love that she uses multiple line weights. That's something I saw throughout her portfolio as well. And I'll show you some more. This was a beautiful piece. I'm not sure if she ever means to color it or if it was meant to be left alone. I think as a standalone, just black and white piece, this is just gorgeous, especially when you zoom in and you see all that speckle detail. Trust me, all of this is done with a liner, usually a 5-liner, but every artist has their own way of doing it. But she just spent tons of time creating those textures all throughout that butterfly. Not to mention the shading is so clean and smooth, the speckle shading in the flowers. So again, it's a way of doing a simple design, but elevating it in a not so simple way. I also love these tiny little fuzz lines in the butterfly here, just brilliant. Or that might be a moth, I'm not sure, but either way, brilliant looking stuff. She has really smooth gray wash, contrasted gray wash as well, which I'm a big fan of. I don't necessarily always like artists that do too much light gray without the dark, and I think again this shows how brilliant her fine line work is, but also her contrasted blending. Really, really well done, smoothly done stuff. Here's another one where she had to tattoo over this person's scarring. You can see these horizontal scars here. That's not easy to do without creating blowout in your lines or without creating a chop effect in your shading. And I think this definitely shows some experience, and it also shows that she took her time. Because if you're trying to rush through a piece like this, when your needle tips are running over those scars right there, you're definitely going to create a chop effect. And if you're not doing your lines slowly and very meticulously staying at a 90-degree angle over those bumps, you're going to get blowout. You're going to get shredded skin. So I really give her props. This looks very, very smooth. Here's some of her color work again, and I just can't give her enough credit. Very, very smooth color blends, even though they're simple designs. Like, she chose to just go with the solid pink here, but that doesn't look lazy here. Whereas with Bobby's portfolio, it absolutely looks lazy. Hers, 100% intentional. There is one thing you guys know I might give her a hard time about. She blasted the white over the whiskers here. I usually recommend artists leave space for that white, because if you're blasting white, especially over these black areas, it's not going to heal white so much. So you got to blend around the whiskers. But that's a pretty small critique when you're looking at an overall beautiful piece. Here's another one of her animals. She does them really great. Nice little calico cat. I like the use of these soft pastel colors because, as I've said before, these are really hard to apply and saturate, and especially hard to get them to heal well so that they still look vibrant against the skin drop. So she does it a great job here. I can tell that you're not seeing any patches of skin or any blotchiness here. She's applying it very well, nice and saturated. Again, these tiny little details on the chin of the cat. Really well done stuff. The Frog King. She posted this one as a custom design that a customer of hers got, and I just love it. Again, a simplified design, but very intentional and very whimsical. I just love looking through her whole portfolio. Some beautiful blending on this one, especially on the underside of the nose there. Wow, very, very well done. Really, really clean work. And all of her line work, I scoured it for a while to find errors in the line work. She's very good with bold lines and very good with those thin lines. So definitely what you want to look for in an artist. Here's another custom piece. It's a heart blending into some sort of filigree pattern, and very, very smooth blends on this sort of golden yellow and these caramels in here. Love to see it. I like the little touch of white in these veins too, because standing back at a distance, those are going to pop and make those veins look very, very 3D. And last but not least, nice gypsy girl here. Gotta appreciate the glare effect off the gems. And this large area backdrop, she blended multiple tones to create this, and not just one color. This is blending into this mint green here, and I think she did it very well. I'm not seeing any patchiness or anything. And the same with the reds in the scarf. Very, very smooth. So really just no comparison to the stuff we just saw at all. This is definitely somebody that I would refer Jackie to for a large floral sleeve piece. That's what she's looking for. This is the last piece of hers I'm going to show you, and albeit small, it is mighty. There is a lot going on here. And you guys know I love to see it when an artist puts a lot of time and effort into the small pieces. That is such a clear tell to me that they have not only like discipline, but they respect their craft and they respect their clients. It's very easy to cheap out when a client just is a walk-in or they come in wanting something small. A lot of artists just kind of cheaply get them in, get them out. And I understand the draw to do that because a lot of times you just want to get on to the next one when they're small like this, but it takes a great artist to spend this amount of time to blend so many colors seamlessly in between each other, all that speckling effect, and it just creates such a beautiful piece. So such a small piece turns into something so incredible. So Taylor, you're killing it. You're an amazing artist. I can't say enough good things about you. Thanks for doing what you do. I hope I can send some people your way. And of course, you are Hack Hunter approved. Alright, you guys, that's it for this episode. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you get notified. We put out new episodes every week. We go to different cities every week, and we might be coming to your city soon. So, stick around. We'll be back next week. And in the meantime, if you're hunting for an artist, don't forget to zoom in. Alright, we'll see you next week. Bye.